Good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to discuss William Wordsworth's theories of literary criticism. See, students, William Wordsworth has published his Preface to Lyrical Ballads in 1798. So, now, basing on this Preface to Lyrical Ballads, the theories what he stated in that preface, they have become so prominent. It's almost said to be a breakthrough. The year 1719, when William Wordsworth published his Preface to Lyrical Ballads, it's created a revolution. And when he published the second edition of Lyrical Ballads in 1800, and when he stated all his literary theories of literary criticism, theories of poetry in 1800 in his preface to Lyrical Ballads, they have spread far and wide, and his theories have become such a prominent because till then there were classicist theories of literature and literary criticism, but the entire impression about poetry that's been changed by William Wordsworth in his second edition to Preface to Lyrical Ballads in 1800. It was first published in 1798 and the second edition came in 1800. In that, William Wordsworth says, and he talks about the mechanism of poetry rather than the poetry itself. Of course, he talks about poetry too, but he first states that the mechanism of poetry is more important. See, the structure of the poet's mind is more important. The poetry is also important. The theories related to poetry are also important, but the theories related to the structure of the poet's mind, the mechanism of poet's mind, the mechanism of the production of poetry, that too is of highest priority. That is what William Wordsworth says. See, when a poem is produced from the mind of the poet, a poet produces a poem. How the structure of the poet mind that undergoes different changes and it passes through the steps of different changes. So he talks about all of them. See, students, he agrees with Aristotle. William Wordsworth agrees with Aristotle in that poetry is one of the things that is highly philosophical. It is one of the highest branches of learning. It is also one of the highest branches of learning. See, the poet undergoes certain phases when he produces a poem. A poem, when it is produced, it comes out of the poet's mind after undergoing different phases. For that, he gives an analysis. Spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. Poetry is nothing but spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. The poet is emotional about a subject or a concept he chooses. Spontaneously, there is the overflow of emotions. He becomes emotional, and emotions are created in his mind. They are spontaneous. Once they are settled in the mind of the poet, they overflow. They cross the brim. They cross the restriction in the sense the limitation, because they are enormous, they are plenty, so that the plentiful emotions, they overflow from the mind of the poet. This is what he says in that quotation: spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. See, poetry is nothing but spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. The emotions are so powerful. The impulses are so powerful. so that he is able to create a poem. He becomes a creator. He produces a poem. So the structure of the poet's mind is more important. The mechanism of the poet's mind is more important. Rather than the poetry itself, poetry too is important because it's also a philosophical thing. He admires Aristotle and he coincides with Aristotle's theories in saying that poetry is also philosophical. It is one of the highest branches of learning. Poetry talks about truth. See, poetry talks about truth. There are many things in poetry, in a poem. There are individual impressions of the poet, and there are the individual impressions about many things from the poet. They are there. It's about many local things because the poet is affected by many conditions, of course, but ultimately truth wins. Truth of poetry wins. That is what William Wordsworth states in his theories. He talks about poetry as spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. So this is the structure of the poet's mind. And one more statement is there by him. Spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions and emotions recollected in tranquility. See, when the poet sees any image or a scene or an object, or he is more affected by a concept, his emotions are created in his mind. See, the emotions are recollected in tranquility. Tranquility means a peaceful atmosphere. He meditates further. He reaches a retreat. And there, he recollects all his emotions in contemplation, in tranquility, in peaceful atmosphere, and he starts writing a poem. He attempts to write a poem. This is the important statement or the analysis given by William Wordsworth in his second edition to Lyrical Ballads that's published in 1800. The first edition it's published in 1798. He talks about all his theories of criticism, literary criticism. They have gained lot of prominence because they were very novel. Until the times of William Wordsworth, poets talked about different subjects. They were classical. They were more common among the poets to choose till the times of William Wordsworth. But in his preface to Lyrical Ballads, William Wordsworth states many new things. He says poetry is about simple things. A poet can write on simple things. So his poem Daffodils is an example for that. So his two quotations about poetry are very important and prominent. Spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. Poetry is spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions and emotions recollected in tranquility. So this is how William Wordsworth, he talks about the mechanism of poetry rather than the poetry. He talks about the structure of the poet's mind when the poet produces his poem. Okay, students, this is about the today's session, and in the next session we'll be moving on to the next topic of William Wordsworth's theories of literary criticism. All of you keep studying and learn it. Okay, students, all the best for you. With this, I would like to conclude my today's session. Thank you. See you.